What if one of the most iconic fitness gurus of all time was also an Academy Award-winning actress, a controversial political activist, and a champion for women's rights, while still managing to leave an indelible mark on multiple generations of Hollywood? That person is Jane Fonda. From a childhood shadowed by a legendary father to groundbreaking social activism that shook a nation, Jane Fonda's journey is a tapestry woven from personal struggles, triumphant victories, and unwavering resilience. Ready to dive deeper? Here are 10 fascinating facts about Jane Fonda's life and career. Born into Hollywood royalty, but haunted by tragedy. Jane Fonda came into the world on December 21st, 1937, daughter to famed actor Henry Fonda, whose roles in classics like The Grapes of Wrath cemented his place in cinematic history. Yet growing up under the same roof as a Hollywood legend wasn't always glamorous. Her mother, Frances Ford Seymour, struggled with mental health issues and tragically died by suicide when Jane was only 12. For years, Jane believed the story Henry told her, that it was a heart attack, until she discovered the truth in a magazine. This revelation became a turning point, fueling an emotional distance from her father, but also laying the groundwork for Jane's future pursuit of self-discovery. Decades later, in interviews like her conversation with Oprah Winfrey, Jane opened up about that formative heartbreak, attributing her lifelong quest for self-improvement to the pain of her mother's death. A reluctant start in acting and the influence of Lee Strasberg. Despite her father's fame, Jane initially had little interest in acting. She spent her youth in elite boarding schools, dabbling in painting and dreaming of traveling the world. That all changed when she met acting coach Lee Strasberg in the late 1950s. Strasberg, known for mentoring icons like Marlon Brando and Marilyn Monroe, saw a latent talent in Jane that she herself didn't believe she possessed. In multiple interviews, Jane has recalled how Strasberg's validation gave her permission to pursue acting. She felt seen for the first time. Under his guidance at the Actors Studio in New York, she immersed herself in method acting. This rigorous training not only honed her craft, but also introduced her to the era's cutting-edge theater scene, which embraced raw authenticity. Without Strasberg's influence, Jane Fonda might never have ventured onto the screen, an alternate reality that would have dramatically changed the face of 20th century Hollywood. The Barbarella phenomenon. One of Fonda's earliest claims to fame was her role in the 1968 sci-fi film Barbarella, directed by her then-husband Roger Vadim. Donning a series of revealing futuristic outfits, she essentially became a poster child of the sexual revolution. While some saw Barbarella as campy or exploitative, others hailed it as a bold statement of female agency. Fonda herself had mixed feelings, later calling it both empowering and limiting. She once revealed in a 2018 interview that at the time, she was exploring her own sense of identity, caught between the image of a perfect starlet and her growing interest in political activism. Yet the cultural impact of Barbarella was massive. It influenced fashion music videos and even future sci-fi heroines like Princess Leia and Ellen Ripley. Her transformation into a political lightning rod. Throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, while many stars dabbled in social causes, Fonda fully committed. She became an outspoken critic of the Vietnam War, and it was this anti-war stance that would vault her into one of the biggest controversies of her life, the infamous 1972 visit to North Vietnam. Images of Hanoi Jane, as detractors dubbed her, sitting on an anti-aircraft gun, outraged much of the American public and severely damaged her reputation for years. That incident overshadowed her earlier philanthropic efforts, including fundraisers for civil rights and her work to support military veterans. Fonda later expressed regret for the photo, clarifying in multiple interviews that she never intended to appear as though she was targeting American soldiers. Despite the lingering backlash, she refused to abandon her activist work, doubling down on issues such as Native American rights and environmentalism. This unwavering commitment to using her platform politically would become a cornerstone of her legacy, influencing younger generations of entertainers to go the same, confronting body image and sparking a fitness revolution. By the late 1970s and into the early 1980s, Fonda's personal challenges took on new shapes, among them a long-time struggle with eating disorders and body image. Rather than hide these insecurities, she channeled them into a fitness empire. Jane Fonda's Workout, released in 1982, wasn't just another exercise tape. It was a cultural revolution. She democratized fitness by showing people how to exercise at home using minimal equipment. With neon spandex, leg warmers, and Fonda's motivating commentary, aerobics became a mainstream phenomenon. In her memoirs, she discusses how the videos helped her transform her relationship with her own body, turning a site of anxiety into a source of empowerment. Critics might have dismissed it as a gimmick, but the workout series opened the door for countless future lifestyle brands, YouTube fitness channels, and even today's influencer-driven health industry. She was once in FBI files. It's no secret that the U.S. government kept tabs on outspoken activists during the tumultuous 1970s. But many people don't realize just how closely Fonda was monitored. According to declassified documents obtained by historians in the early 2000s, the FBI tracked her movements, recorded her speeches, and compiled intel on her anti-war rallies. This wasn't entirely surprising. Fonda was a highly visible critic of government policies. Still, the scope and detail of these reports were eye-opening for many supporters who saw her as a champion of free speech. Far from being intimidated, Fonda doubled down on her activism, aligning herself with various civil rights and women's movements. She spoke candidly in interviews about her cautious defiance, recognizing the scrutiny but pressing on with her public advocacy. These revelations highlight her willingness to stand by her convictions, even when it meant drawing the attention of federal agencies, an aspect of her life that's both compelling and a testament to her fearlessness. Fonda's personal life has been as eventful as her career. She married 3 times, first to French director Roger Vadim, then to activist Tom Hayden, and finally to media mogul Ted Turner. Each union mirrored a particular phase of her activism and identity. The marriage to Roger Vadim situated her in the world of European cinema and set the stage for Barbarella. With Tom Hayden, a leader in the 1960s radical movement, she plunged further into anti-war activism, famously raising funds and campaigns for progressive causes. By the time she married Ted Turner in 1991, she had expanded her interest to environmentalism, aligning well with Turner's philanthropic endeavors like the United Nations Foundation. Over the years, these relationships also revealed her quest for personal growth. She once said she viewed marriage as a mirror, each partnership illuminating aspects of her own character she needed to confront. Eventually, all 3 unions ended in divorce, but Fonda has credited those chapters with teaching her invaluable lessons about collaboration, compromise, and self-worth. Multiple Oscar wins amid controversy. It's easy to forget, amidst her activism and fitness fame, that Jane Fonda is a powerhouse actor with 2 Academy Awards. She earned her first Oscar for Clute, 1971, portraying a streetwise sex worker who becomes entangled in a murder investigation. The role showcased Fonda's talent for depth and emotional complexity, a stark departure from the space-age glam of Barbarella. Despite her achievements, the film's release coincided with her Vietnam War protests, and many who opposed her activism boycotted her work. She won her second Oscar for Coming Home, 1978, playing a military wife who reassesses her views on the Vietnam War after meeting a paraplegic veteran. This role aligned strongly with her real-life anti-war stance, so much so that some critics argued she was merely reenacting her personal politics. Regardless, the two wins cemented her status as one of Hollywood's most skilled actors, a reputation underscored by other acclaimed performances like They Shoot Horses, Don't They? And The China Syndrome. Even amid political turbulence, her cinematic work spoke volumes, proving she was more than capable of leaving a significant mark on film history. Reinvention in the 21st century, from retirement to Grace and Frankie. After a hiatus from acting in the early 2000s, Jane Fonda returned to the screen in the 2005 film Monster-in-Law, surprising fans who thought she'd quietly slipped into retirement. More than a decade later, she struck gold again with the Netflix series Grace and Frankie, co-starring Lily Tomlin. The show, focusing on two older women who find out their husbands have fallen in love with each other, was groundbreaking for its portrayal of aging, friendship, and modern family structures. In a landscape obsessed with youth, Fonda embraced her age on screen, exuding the same intelligence, wit, and sparkle that made her famous in the 1970s, only now seasoned by decades of life experience. In numerous interviews, she's spoken about how the role of Grace is a testament to second or even third acts in life. She's proven that she can stay relevant in an era of streaming platforms and social media, reaching a whole new generation of viewers who might know her more for her comedic timing than her political controversies. Forever an activist, forever evolving. Even now, well into her 80s, Fonda's activist spirit remains undiminished. She launched Fire Drill Fridays in 2019, a series of climate change protests in Washington, D.C., where she was arrested multiple times alongside celebrities and environmental advocates. Sporting her now iconic red coat, Fonda once again landed in headlines, not for a movie role, but for braving the cold to demand legislative action on the climate crisis. She's also continued her advocacy for women's rights, voicing support for the Me Too movement and openly discussing issues of sexual harassment. Interviews and public statements show a woman who has channeled decades of experience, personal, political, and professional, into a singular mission to fight for a better world. Whether you admire her or disagree with her stance, there's no denying Jane Fonda's long-standing commitment to speaking her mind, even when it costs her dearly. And there you have it. 10 fascinating facts about Jane Fonda that peel back the layers of her persona to reveal a complex individual whose life story defies neat categorization. From surviving family tragedy to championing social causes, from lighting up Hollywood's biggest stages to shaping a global fitness revolution, she has refused to be confined by a single role. In an industry where reinvention is the norm, Jane Fonda stands out for turning her life into a powerful narrative of growth, activism, and resilience. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these facts about Jane Fonda surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the stars.